Hello everyone, it's Dr. Manjari Nadkarni, Ayurvedic MD, registered holistic nutritionist, back today to discuss more about building immunity for kids. So we are in the back to school season. The schools just start opening, I think in a week or two, and it's extremely important at this time to support the children with immunity, considering the current pandemic. So we're going to talk about some simple ways that you can build your child's immunity through supporting them with good nutrition, a good diet, and how they can, stay strong and healthy. So that's what we're going to talk about today. For the month of September, we have decided to talk about children's health, and I'll be doing a lot of Facebook Lives from the Blue Water Nutrition page every Wednesday. We call it the Wellness Wednesday. So every Wednesday at 1 o'clock, I'll be live here to talk about a topic pertaining to health. For the month of September, it is children's health that we're going to talk about, right? So if you are watching this live, please say a quick hi. If you are watching this as a replay, you can always, put your questions or in the comment section here. And if you have any discussions or if you need further information about me or any of my services, feel free to get in touch. You can always get connected to me. So let's get started. So what are some signs of a child having lower immunity? That's where I'll start. So if your children have recurrent infections, right? If they're always catching a cold or a flu or a runny nose, they have impaired immunity. If they're getting a lot of flare ups of any condition, whether it's skin conditions or something, they have a lot of, immune issues as well. So if your kids, have any kind of allergies, when we talk about environmental allergies or food allergies as well, the immune system is not functioning the best. And allergies are a sign that the immune system is showing a certain kind of imbalance, right? So these are times when you have to pay special attention to your children's needs. One of the other things that happens with immunity is parasites are very common in children. Any kind of bacteria or parasites, just because it's hard to control. When you have toddlers, they can run around, or with young kids, they're playing out and about, right? Or if you have pets at home, that could be another way your kids could be exposed to some parasites. So that is why you have to pay extra attention to their immune system, because all these allergens, parasites, or even poor foods like excess sugar, if they're used to sugary juice boxes or a lot of food coloring, that can overwhelm your system, and that can overwhelm your immune system at all, right? So let's talk today about certain foods and what foods can really benefit, and what are some foods to really start having in your diet, right? And what strategies can we apply? So one of the main things we talk about is probiotics, right? We talk about your gut bacteria. Hi Mugda, thanks for watching. So especially for kids, nowadays research shows that your gut is extremely important when it comes to your immune health and your overall health as well. Your digestion is kind of the doorway to everything. When you eat foods, your food gets digested, it gets absorbed, processed, any of the toxins are eliminated, right? And you also have these gut bacteria, millions and millions of bacteria, residing in your gut, which also make a barrier and which also protect you and your immune system. So to maintain that, one thing is always having some probiotic rich foods. So you could always include foods like sauerkraut. You could include foods like kefir or yogurt if they can tolerate it, or buttermilk, which is even better than yogurt, right? So including foods like, if your kids can handle the spice, kimchi is a really nice option, or lacto fermented pickles are another good option, right? So probiotic support is extremely important for kids and their immune system. And if your child is not having any probiotic rich foods, if your child is allergic to dairy, or if your child is not fond of like sauerkraut, one thing you can definitely do is give them some probiotic support, right? Through, there are powders and there are some chewable ones, and there are some like really great quality supplements we have at Blue Water Nutrition. So you can always walk into the store and we can discuss more. So getting that probiotic support for your child is one thing that can really help build a strong immune system, and also help them with any kind of allergic conditions or food sensitivities that they have, right? So this is extremely important. The second one, I always talk to people about cutting the sugars out, right? So if your child is having a lot of sugar in the form of, juices or candies or ice creams, you have to make sure you're minimizing the sugar, right? And fresh fruit can easily replace any kind of sugar. So you can give them grapes, you can give them oranges, you can give them really good, berries have lots of antioxidants, they're packed with antioxidants. So something like berries would be fantastic for your children, rather than having juices. So always choose fruit, always choose fresh fruit in place of fruit juices. And even if you want to give them a fruit juice, make sure it's freshly squeezed and it's not a packaged juice which will have tons of sugar in it, right? So that's something you have to be extremely mindful about, is, out with the sugar and in with fresh fruit. And this fresh fruit will have lots of vitamins, it's going to have lots of antioxidants that are going to support the immune system, right? So that's really, really, really important. The third thing is, to have lots of leafy greens in the diet, right? So I often talk about not adding smoothies because smoothies are harder on the digestion. But if that's the only way your child is okay with, vegetables, that is an option too. So just mixing a little fruit which they can tolerate with lots of veggies, right? And adding some kind of, spices like ginger or turmeric that's going to aid the digestion is extremely important when it comes to your children's health. But getting them, fresh vegetables, getting them a lot more variety in their vegetables, you have to introduce the rainbow to them. So different colored fruits and vegetables, carrots, green beans, strawberries, oranges, they all have carotenoids, right, which are immune boosting phytonutrients. And these are also going to help your body's production of infection fighting white blood cells, right? So this is extremely important when we talk about, diet. So as many leafy greens as they can, as many fruits and vegetables as you can. And one category of vegetables stands out because we're talking about vegetables, one specific category that stands out is cruciferous vegetables. So these are vegetables known as kale and cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli. And these are really, really healthy for your child. And they're also going to help with what's known as methylation, right, which helps with detoxification of the body. So these are also loaded with lots of B vitamins. If you look at kale or even spinach, they're going to help your child safely process everything and also eliminate anything that's not necessary, including any toxins you're accumulating from the pollution or any kind of chemical exposure, right? So introducing fruits to them, introducing vegetables to them, and making sure you keep switching the fruits and vegetables, right? So they have a variety of fruits and vegetables in their diet is extremely, extremely important. The other thing is always, send them out to play, right? So when it comes to lifestyle, always making sure they're playing out in the dirt, right? The dirt also has some good bacteria, and your immune system is built when you are outside, not sitting in the home or not constantly exposed to, your iPads or any kind of game. So make sure, at least for an hour or half an hour, your children are outside. Specifically, if morning is a really good time when the sun's rays are not really harsh, they also will get their dose of vitamin D. They will make good vitamin D. They will also build the strength by being outside, right? So that's also something extremely important. The other thing to do is, exercise or any kind of physical activity. So when we talk about being outside, biking, playing outside, those are some activities. Some kind of physical activity is extremely important because the lymphatic channel in our body, which helps detoxification, only works when you're active, right? Lymph flow is not going to be good for your children unless you're active. So that's the one thing, your children need to do at all times is be physically active as well. And then sleep is the other thing we talk about, right? So making sure they're getting good quality sleep. It doesn't just matter how much they're sleeping, but if they're having nightmares or grinding their teeth at night or waking up in the middle of the night due to colic pain or some other reason, it is important to find the reason behind the lack of sleep or interrupted sleep and ensure that your children are getting good quality sleep where they wake up rested. So, waking up rested is one of the biggest signs of having a good quality sleep, right? Because if you don't sleep well, you're going to wake up tired. So, please remember these few tips that I've talked about. Now, a few herbs that you can safely introduce, or a few natural foods that you can safely introduce to your kids. One of them is raw, unpasteurized honey, right? So, unpasteurized honey is really good for your immune system. It's also good to support your respiratory tract. If you have any kind of congestions, especially for your child, this is something you can start adding to the diet to decongest them. So, if they are having constant runny nose or constant infections, honey can really be a good option for them. Turmeric, or the yellow powder, or yellow gold as it's known as, is a really amazing spice. If your child absolutely loves to drink milk and they have a lot of mucus associated with it, they're coughing or they have a runny nose and they're having a lot of congestion because of milk, or if they're reacting to milk, the one thing you can definitely add is turmeric. So just add a quarter teaspoon of this yellow powder or turmeric to the milk. You can warm the milk, and that will make the milk more digestible. That will also ensure that they are not being excessively phlegmy because of the milk, right? Because it's the nature of the milk to build up the mucus in the body. The other option is holy basil tea. So you can easily make a decoction of holy basil, add some honey to it, and give maybe a quarter cup in the day to help your kids with the respiratory support. So this is something very simple. These three things, honey, turmeric, holy basil, they're pretty palatable by most kids. They're not bitter or they're not horrible tasting. So I'm sure your child would love it. Some other things you can definitely include in the diet is ginger and garlic. So garlic is antibacterial, it's also antiparasitic, and it also supports your immune system. It also supports your liver for detoxification. So for your child, you can always add a little bit of garlic in any of the dips they're having, or you can cook with garlic. You can add garlic powder or fresh garlic to any of the soups that you make, stir fries, or any dishes that you make. Definitely add some garlic. That will help boost their immunity. And the last spice or the herb I'm going to talk about is ginger. So ginger is a digestive bacterial antiparasitic herb, right? So ginger also boosts your digestive system. It is also seen to boost your immune system. So just adding a few drops of ginger along with honey, right? And giving it to your child every day, if they have a lot of digestive issues, this is going to help get rid of it, right? So try all the suggestions that I talked about, or try at least one or two of the suggestions that I talked about, right? To support your children build a strong immune system. And please do let me know what works for you, or which tip that I gave you today that you absolutely loved, right? So I would love to know your feedback. Please let me know which one you're going to try, which one did you really like, and which one, your kid loves. Is it the holy basil tea with honey that they're going to try, or the turmeric milk? So feel free to, give me some feedback on it. If you have any questions, also post it in the comments, and I will be back to answer any questions that you have. So thank you all for watching. Again, it's Wellness Wednesday. This is Dr. Manjari Narkarni, Ayurvedic MD, holistic nutritionist. I'll be back next Wednesday with another interesting topic on children's health. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.